And we are live. What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of 352 Blitz. You see, obviously, I got Ed here and a new face. We'll get to him in a second. But before we do everything, go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, do all the good stuff for us. And let's go ahead and get into it, actually. It's going to be a little bit of a shorter day, but we want to have fun with it. So, Jordan, what's up, man? How you doing?
Doing well. How are you?
Good. As you guys can see, Jordan has a big Texas jersey on. So tell us about yourself. You know, obviously you're a big Texas fan, but tell us, you know, why you chose Texas and like your memory and whatnot.
Yeah, man. So I've been a fan ever since I started watching football as a kid. So first season I can remember was 05. Had to pull out the VY for the pod. But yeah, no, as far back as I can remember, family, my mom, big Texas fan, close family friend, went and played there. Big name receiver, Quan Cosby. So knew him when he was in high school, went and played. Obviously that was a easy way to start liking Texas. And, you know, those are the glory years too. So it was a lot of fun as a kid. And then, you know, grew up, went there for college as well. So I got my undergrad degree from UT. So a lot of good memories there. 2018 Red River Shootout, Dicker the kicker. That was a great moment. Sugar Bowl versus Georgia. I actually had a free ticket to that game, and I did not go because I thought we were going to get blown out, and I missed out on that game. So that was tough. But yeah, man, a lot of great memories. A lot of rough memories as well in there in the last 15 years or so. So, you know, good with the bad, but nah, man, wouldn't trade it.
For sure. As everybody knows that's been watching, me and Ed are big Gator fans, and we've been trash for, 13 years now, Ed?
Yep.
It's still been rough over here, so hopefully we get better days ahead. But, you know, let's talk about Texas a little bit. So, obviously, this season you guys have been doing pretty well. You guys beat Bama in Tuscaloosa. Big game there. And you guys are ranked number 7 right now. Yeah, 7 right now. So, where do you see Texas' season heading, Jordan? You guys think you guys make the playoffs? You guys think you guys might fall short? How do you feel about that?
It's so tough. It's so tough because we really don't control our own destiny right now. I mean, a lot of Texas fans, we like to say, you know, just take care of our business, win the Big 12. But, I mean, really that's not enough. I mean, isn't it? I mean, Washington wins out. They're in. There's so many scenarios where Texas gets passed up. I think where we're at, I mean, with the management of expectations and what we want for the program, I think the goal for this season really was like win the Big 12. You know, we got one more year in the Big 12. Just go in there, win the conference on the way out. We haven't won a Big 12 championship since 2009. It'd be really sad if we exited the Big 12 with I believe it's only 3 Big 12 championships in the 26 years we've been in the Big 12. So that's step one, I think, is win the Big 12 playoffs. From there, it's kind of just it's not really up to us, right? We just need certain situations to happen, particularly in the Pac-12. And, well, some would say the SEC. I personally, if we went out, I don't see a scenario where we get passed for a second SEC team, but maybe that's a discussion point here.
For sure. We'll get to the playoffs and whatnot soon. Let's talk about some news in the college football world. So, obviously, you guys saw Jimbo Fisher got fired. $75 million payout, which is insane. I also say that getting fired as a college football coach is the biggest blessing in the world. Like, getting paid to not do shit for, 5 years or so, that's a dream job. Anyway.
So $26,000 a day for the next however many years.
Bro, this man's making my, salary.
So 2031, he's making $26K a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that shit's crazy. So let's talk about that. Do you guys think that was a good move by TAMU? Because obviously they just won a big game Saturday. Do you guys think that was a good move by them? Do you think they should have waited till the end of the season? What do you guys think about that move? We'll start with you, Ed.
Well, I'm not gonna say they won a big game. They beat Arkansas, who, you know, they should have beaten them anyways. Gators should have beaten them too. But that's we're not gonna talk about that. Jesus, PTSD already. But I mean, Jimbo's been there for 6 years, and he's never won more than 10 games or 9 games, and he's constantly recruiting. Having Jimbo, He's constantly having top 3 classes for the past 7 years. Last year, it was literally a fact, and there was proof that he paid a bunch of recruits to go there, and he's still not able to get over the hump. You got to beat Bama one time. You have to win the SEC West, and he hasn't done that. So I'm not gonna say it's wrong that they fired him. It's just that the contract is just insane because $76 million guaranteed, no matter what, is I just it's just nasty work, man. Whoever his agent is elite.
Elite. Elite.
Yeah.
What do you have to say about that, Jordan? About Tammy's situation?
Yeah, I think it's actually kind of an interesting perspective if you think about like the message that sends to the rest of the coaches in the country of like if Texas A&M is willing to spend that kind of money and clearly they have the capability to do it. I mean, I heard that apparently at halftime, the 12th Man Foundation presented athletics with a check, $150+ million check, and that's where the money for the buyout came from. Like, think about that. Jimbo was in the locker room coaching the team, and they were getting presented with a check that would eventually buy him out the next day. Like, that's pretty wild. But so what I think the message is that sends is like, well, think of it any way you want, but other coaches are going to look and say, all right, Texas A&M has that kind of money. They will spend that kind of money. Basically, like, I can go to Texas A&M and I don't even have to be that good. Like, I can get my money no matter what. And maybe that's kind of a bad way to look at it, but I think that's just an interesting message that Texas A&M sense, whether they meant to or not, is like, we can and we will spend hundreds of millions if we need to.
I mean, like, think about it. They spent, I think it was like $30 million on recruits alone, and you're adding an additional $76 million on top of that.
Yeah.
So you're talking about over $100 million in less than a year. Just here you go. All right, it is what it is. So that just shows Texas A&M money. That just shows Texas money is different.
Yeah, facts. Yeah, I think they should have waited to the end of the season, honestly, just because now you're going to start losing recruits and whatnot, and now you got to find a coach fast, and then although the candidates are busy with their season, so you can't really interview like you really want to. So I think it was a good move to fire him, but just not right now, especially after a big win. That kind of sends a weird message to the fans, to the recruits and whatnot. So I don't personally agree with it, but obviously now they need a new coach. So what names come to mind when you guys think about, replacement for Jimbo Fisher? There's a lot of big names.
I mean, people keep saying Dan Lanning. I said that about the Gators. I said, man, he could come here, but everybody's, oh, why would he leave Oregon for the Gators? But now everybody's jumping on Texas A&M. I'm like, they haven't done anything, just like the Gators. So, but anyways, I mean, Dan Lanning it's an obvious name. Oregon has been doing really good. Granted, a lot of those players were crystal ball players, but he's still, I mean, they're ranked 7th or 8th in the nation. They've only lost it to,
They're 6th.
Okay, so they're 6th, and they only lost to Washington by a field goal.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously he can coach. He can recruit his butt off. If he goes to the SEC, I mean, that's just problems for everyone else. So that's an obvious name. And then people have been saying, what's his name from Ole Miss? Lane Kiffin. I don't think that. I think Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss is that perfect job for him because he can say whatever he wants, do whatever he wants, win 8 games, he gets a contract extension. You know what I'm saying? And then Dion is the other guy. I mean, there was recruits from 2025 kind of hinting that Deion Sanders might not be there when he gets there. That's what he decommitted. So, there's a lot of big names. I just don't. I mean, we'll see. Obviously, they got to hire somebody. I just don't know who.
Right.
I heard Dabo Swinney got thrown in there at some point, which is interesting just because he's been kind of stale at Clemson the last couple years, and who knows? I mean, it wouldn't be the first time Texas A&M took an ACC coach. I wonder if it would work out the same way this time, but that may be
that'll be a weird match too, because Texas A&M is kind of like I don't know if there's any A&M fans here, but kind of like a cult type of program and school with Dabo Swinney there, man. They really might go win 8 championships in a row or something.
You never know.
Yeah, I was looking at some names. So I actually saw Dan Lanning had like a presser for, his weekly press or whatever at Oregon. And they asked him about it, and he said no immediately, Same with Dion. So now you kind of look at other coaches, right? So you see the guy Duke, he comes up. I don't know if he would do well in the SEC West, going from, the ACC to the SEC West. That's crazy. It's a crazy jump, So I don't know about that. It's a lot of good names out there. I think they should go for, what's his name, Stoops at Kentucky. Because first off, I'm proud of Kentucky beating us.
That too, but they're also saying Mike Norvell from FSU, Eli Drinkwitz from Mizzou, Jeff Traylor, he's the UTSA head coach. I think he used to be like a high school coach in Texas who won like I don't know how many dang state championships, so like he's well known in Texas. And then Chris Kleiman from Kansas State.
Yeah.
Nah. Nah.
I don't know about him, but Mike Norvell, see, the people who say about Mike Norvell, why would he make that jump when he's at FSU? But like FSU wants to go join a bigger conference, so why wouldn't the coach do that by himself?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think whoever gets that job has to be something that's already proven, right? So like Jimbo Fisher was already kind of proven at FSU, and so when you think of all of the proven coaches that would move, like you said, Dan Lanning already said no, straight up, and Coach Prime already said no. And then you got maybe, I don't know. Kirby Smart wouldn't leave Georgia. He's going to stay there forever. Mike Norvell, definitely. It just wouldn't make sense because he's at FSU. You can actually win a championship at FSU. And also going from the ACC to the ACC to the SEC West is already going to be kind of scary for him too. So I don't know. I think if they were smart, they'd go after Duke's coach or Kentucky's coach, in my opinion. You know what I mean?
Duke's coach, Mike Elko, he's a good coach, man.
Mike Elko is good.
To turn Duke to what they are now, it's hard to do. That defense is real deal. And their offense, obviously, they lost their quarterback mid FSU game. He's done a tremendous job there. Mike Stoops, he's not talked enough. What he's done at Kentucky is literally a miracle. That program, let's just be honest here. Gators beat them 33 years in a row. And the past 5 years has been hell playing him because he's beaten us 3 years out of those 5 years. So he's done a great job there recruiting. So I can only imagine what he does at Texas A&M with actual money, actual NILs, and just funds to be able to do whatever he wants to do. Because Kentucky is more limited. It's a smaller school, smaller state, and not as many rich people there as compared to A&M.
Yeah, him at A&M would be scary for sure. But we'll see. We'll see, bro. Moving on, let's talk about the playoffs a little bit. So obviously we're about 2 weeks out. 2 weeks left in the regular season. Then we got conference championships. Then we got the playoffs, right? So right now, obviously we got Georgia at 1, Michigan at 2, Ohio State at 3, FSU at 4, Washington at 5, Oregon at 6, Texas at 7, and then Bama at 8. So things get weird because obviously next week, Michigan and Ohio State play, and then you got Oregon and Washington probably playing again, the Pac-12 championship, and then the week after that, you got it's probably going to be Louisville and FSU play. That's going to be a good game as well because Louisville is ranked number 9. A lot of things get weird, Let's start by just talking about the top 4. So, do you think the top 4 really are the best 4 teams right now? Or do you think, hey, I think Oregon should be in there, or you think Washington should be in there? What do you guys think about that?
I like one of the Pac-12 teams over. I actually think Ohio State's gonna win the Big Ten and knock Michigan out. I think with everything happening surrounding the Harbaugh situation and not even that, just Michigan's kind of the strength of their schedule and just I think the way their season's progressed. I'm also relying a little bit on Michigan's kind of had Ohio State's number the last couple of years, and I feel like that can only run so long. Ohio State, if I was ever in doubt, I would usually give benefit of the doubt to Ohio State in that game, and I don't know. I kind of think the Buckeyes are going to win the Big Ten. I don't think with Michigan's resume, I don't think a one-loss Michigan without a conference championship makes it in. There's no way. And frankly, I don't think anything would suggest that they're playing any better than, frankly, Oregon or Washington.
Yeah.
And I feel better about Oregon, to be honest. So it really depends how Pac-12 shakes up on that front. So I think Michigan might be the team on the list that I feel that is maybe the weakest.
I like that. What do you think, Ed?
Man, I think the weakest team there is FSU, bro. I'm sorry. I don't like them, and it's not because I don't like them. They don't play nobody. They play
True.
Clemson, their ass. They weren't even ranked. They play LSU game 1. LSU now will beat them. And because the dude ran for 700 yards on us.
Facts.
So,
Yeah.
you know what I'm talking about? But for real, not being biased or anything like that. FSU has played Duke without a quarterback, right? And they played Clemson. They're just not that good this year. And they played LSU. LSU is the main game that they have for this whole season that has them at that first spot. They struggle versus Miami at home. They struggle versus BC. They struggle versus what's the other team that not Syracuse. There's another team that they struggle with. So like all these different teams they struggle with. Yes, they beat them, but they still struggle with. So what if you play at Georgia? The game's gonna be like TCU last year. You know, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. I don't think they're that good. They're good. You know what I'm saying? They're good. They're better than a lot of teams. I just don't think they're better than the Huskies. The Huskies have played like 5 ranked games and won all of them. So how is their strength of schedule better than FSU? And how are you going to say that? Oh well, they just look better. How do they look better when they don't play nobody?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I'm non-biased. I do think that Washington is better than FSU for many reasons. I think they have a better defense, and I think their offense is a lot. Well, I think FSU and Washington's offense is kind of on the same level. But yeah, man, it's going to be interesting to see how this shakes out. But I'm going to give you guys a scenario really quick. This is actually realistic, right? So let's say Texas wins out, all right? And then let's say Bama wins out, okay? So Bama is a one-loss SEC champion, right? You got Texas, a one-loss Big 12 champion. And obviously those teams would be fighting for a spot. If it came down to those two teams, who should go in and why? And be non-biased as possible, please.
All right, non-biased. So Texas wins out, wins the Big 12. Alabama wins out, wins the SEC. Let's assume, and also in this scenario, let's assume that like Georgia stays number 1 seed, because you could conceivably, if Ohio State beats Michigan in the Big Ten championship game, it's possible that the committee would then vault them to 1, because by ranking, a win against Michigan would be better than a win against Alabama. No. Anyways, for Alabama to get in, you have to consider the fact that Alabama would get in. Sorry, Georgia to vault Texas to get in as a one-loss team, no conference champion. Georgia just lost to Alabama. Texas has the win against Alabama. I think that right there ruins it all. For Georgia, I don't see where one loss against Oklahoma by field goal, your biggest rival, and to that point, it's not like OU's a bad team. I don't know why that loss means more with the conference championship. I just don't see it.
True.
And also, when the Big 12 is not terrible. I mean, the Big 12 has 5 ranked teams in the top 25 right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I really just don't see, other than just extreme SEC bias, how you could put Georgia, a one-line Georgia in over Texas. Because Alabama would jump. They would be in for sure if they won the SEC. Sorry, I had my words mixed up. But yeah, that's just my 2 cents.
Just you wait, Jordan. 2024, you're gonna be screaming SEC all day. There's gonna be like 10 teams in the SEC in the top 12. But anyways, I would put Texas over. Damn. Yeah, I mean, it's tough, man. I would put Texas over Alabama just because Texas Alabama, right? Like they beat them. That's point blank. Period.
Yeah.
So and they're the Big 12 champions. So I don't know, bro. It's just so tough there. I just don't. Honestly, I don't see Michigan losing to Ohio State. I'll be honest with that one. I don't see Michigan losing to them. Maybe they do. I mean, hopefully they do. I can't stand. Well, I can't stand either of those teams, but but I can't.
Well, so
I don't like
Mario,
State, and Michigan is all right, but it's just man. There's just so many games. I mean, so many teams with only one loss, right? And those top four teams, other than Georgia, they're kind of weighty. You know, they could go either way. All three of those teams. Michigan could lose to Ohio State. That trumps them from the Big 10.
Mhm.
Ohio State loses to Michigan. Why is Ohio State even considered? The only they beat Penn State, but they lost to Michigan. So how are they even being considered there? And then you have FSU there, who everybody has a question mark around them because who have you played? And then you have Washington waiting there, Oregon, and then Texas. So I mean, these next 2 to 3 weeks of football are going to be amazing because every single game matters so much.
Yeah.
It's going to be crazy. And I was actually pulling up the strengths of schedule. So far, Ohio State has the 37th, Washington has the 44th, Florida State has 58th, Michigan has 65th, Texas has 12th, and the Georgia Bulldogs have 77. Alabama has 19th. The remaining strength of schedule, we got Ohio has the 3rd, Washington has the 5th. Oh, look at that. Florida State, 37. Michigan, 7. Texas Longhorns, 22. And Georgia has the 1st.
Right. It's a lot. So back to the original question with Texas and Georgia. I would definitely not. I said Georgia, my bad. Texas and Bama. I would definitely put Texas in over Bama. It'll be tough, but like you can't ignore that win in Tuscaloosa. You just can't. Like, especially it was a big win on the road, night game in Tuscaloosa. They rarely lose there, and Texas did it. I don't care what nobody says. Yeah, Oklahoma hasn't really looked good in the past 3 weeks, but like at the time, Oklahoma was a good team. They were undefeated, and they skyrocketed to the top like 6 teams, you know? So I don't know. I think people are going to be saying Bama should get in because they beat number 1 Georgia. Georgia was undefeated, broke their, I think at that point, 30-game win streak, something crazy like that. But at the same time, it's like you can't ignore that win, you know? So it's weird. Go ahead.
So wait, you think Alabama wins the SEC?
Mm-hmm.
I think Texas gets in over Alabama, and the playoff has no SEC teams.
I think Georgia would be in no matter what, in my opinion.
Do you think Georgia can lose to – So you think Georgia can lose the SEC championship game and get in with Texas instead of Alabama?
Yeah, because
that would be crazy.
Yeah, remember 2 years ago, Georgia. Yeah, remember 2 years ago, Georgia lost to Alabama when they had Bryce Young, and they still got in, you know. And I know it was Michigan that year. It was Michigan, Ohio State, Georgia, and what's up?
Was that the Cincy year?
No. I think that was before.
Okay, sorry, I got my years mixed up.
That's what I see too. Georgia loses. They've been number 1 this whole dang year. They lose to Alabama and SEC championship. I feel like they're still in. Yeah. They might drop from 1 to 4, 1 to 3, but I see Texas just going over Alabama. And then if Washington wins, then they take the 2nd spot, and then Ohio State and Michigan take that number 1 seed.
Okay, how about this then? Let's say Oregon beats Washington in Pac-12 championship, right? Then it gets weird because I don't know, bro. I feel like Oregon. That Pac-12 was a gauntlet this year, by the way. Pac-12 was tough. Utah was good. Washington was good. USC was good, right? Bunch of good teams.
Run.
What's up?
Arizona had a run as well. They're not a bad.
Yeah, Arizona was pretty nice.
UCLA was ranked.
Yeah.
Oregon State is ranked still.
Oregon State's number 12. They're right there. They're in the thick of it.
Right.
If Oregon State beats who they play? Washington?
They have Washington this week and Oregon next week. So they got
if they beat Washington this year, man.
Number 1 strength
so
remaining.
if they make the playoffs, I'm gonna be pissed.
Facts. So it gets weird because with Michigan and Ohio State, I think whoever loses, whenever they play next week, I think they'll win. The loser will win in the Big Ten championship, right? You get what I'm saying? So you got, let's say, one loss. I don't know, Michigan team who won the Big Ten championship, right? Because they get John Harbaugh back. They might play better with him, as a coach, right? Let's say we got undefeated FSU. We got a one-loss SEC champion Bama. We got one-loss Georgia. We got a one-loss Big 12 champion Texas. We got a one-loss Pac-12 champion Oregon, right? And then, I don't know, bro. That's where it kind of gets weird, right? Because there's no clear number one seed right there, right?
Well, the Big Ten championship game, though, is still divisions, I believe, right?
They have divisions? Oh.
I believe divisions. So the winner of the game.
The winner plays damn Kansas or not Kansas.
Wisconsin.
They play either Wisconsin or Wisconsin State.
Yeah, someone. the Big Ten West is maybe the worst conference division, like in the entirety of football. It's abysmal.
True. Okay, so
the Big Ten doesn't make any sense to me. They have all 4 top big teams in one division, and then all the non-passing 1950s offense in the other one. Who's gonna win? I don't know. I don't know who's gonna win.
The Big Ten championship game is next week. It's next week when Michigan and Ohio State play.
True. Okay.
Championship game, basically.
Damn. So it's gonna get messy, right? Because things get weird. I think Louisville might be FSU, so we'll talk about that whenever that game comes around. But as we see right now, I still think that Washington should be in the playoffs. I mean, in the number 4 spot over FSU. But it's gonna get weird. I think that here's my final prediction, right? My last prediction, right? While it's still kind of in the air, I think Georgia will probably still be number 1. Georgia will be number 1. I think number 2 will be Michigan, because I think Michigan's going to be Ohio State, in my opinion. I think 3 will probably be FSU. And I think 4, probably Texas. I'm not going to lie. I think Texas might get in, bro. I'm being honest. Not because Jordan's here, but honestly.
This is your final 4?
My final 4, yes.
This is your final 4 right now. You got FSU at 3.
Yeah, I think, well, I thought Louisville would be FSU, but the more I think about it, that's not going to happen, right? So I think if FSU undefeated, this man's eating good, bro.
Hey, bro, this is the first thing I've ate today.
Dang.
All right. By the way, you guys with Justin, me, Jordan. Jordan's my friend from work.
Nice to meet you, Jordan.
He's tearing that shit
that
up.
came with the show eating wings, bro.
Hey, man. So you're saying, you got Georgia, Michigan, FSU, Texas.
Yes.
Top 4.
Yes.
Man.
It's gonna be weird, bro.
Okay, but I don't have that because I'm not gonna have FSU up there. It's not happening. It's not happening.
You gotta swallow that pride, bro. You gotta get rid of it.
It's not happening, bro. We're gonna put Washington in there. Washington's gonna win the Big 12, whatever the hell the Pac-12. They're gonna go undefeated. They're gonna have 7 ranked wins, and if they disrespect the 7 ranked wins over LSU win in week 1, I'm not watching college football next year.
First
Not because the game sucked, but because that's insane, bro. It's just that's just disrespectful. Like if you actually do that, that doesn't make any sense.
The problem with that is in that scenario, FSU is not the team that they'll vault. It'll be Texas. It'll be Big 12 championship 1-loss Texas. So you'll still have Florida State, and then Washington will slide in there
over the team that be number 1 Alabama or number 2 or number 1 Alabama, whatever they were, and more ranked wins over a team that played LSU week 1, and that's it. That's insane. I just can't believe that if they do that, that's just insane bias.
I guess.
Right, but because the reason why is because Louisville is they're ranked number 9, and then with the game played next week, they're gonna go up to like maybe 8 or 7 at their highest. So it'll be a big win when they beat Louisville for the championship.
Kentucky next week.
Louisville.
Yeah, is it not like
the
final game?
They got Kentucky next week. Yeah. Anyway, Justin, what's up, bro?
Not much.
All right, man. Obviously, we're talking about the playoffs and whatnot. So we'll wrap up with the playoffs here and then move on to Heisman stuff in a second. But Ed, let me get your top four. I want to hear what you got to think. I want to hear your thoughts on the top four or who you think will make the playoffs.
I thought Georgia guaranteed one, bro. I'm so damn pissed about Georgia being a damn powerhouse. But Georgia's gonna be one. Two, I see Michigan winning. Ohio State really is just Marvin Harrison. They have a good defense, but on offense, it's just Miles Harrison and the Ohio State Buckeyes. He's amazing. He's an amazing wide receiver. So I just have Michigan. Michigan's a more complete team. They have a lot of what's the word I'm trying to look for now? They have a lot of motivation with all these off the field stuff, right? Like they hear their coaches cheating, this is cheating, the team is not a good team, all they're doing is cheating everything. So like that's just motivation for me. Like if I was a player, I was like, man, I need to prove them wrong. So I just see Michigan at number 2. 3, who's 4 right now?
Right now it's FSU.
I mean, who's 3? Oh, Ohio State.
Yeah.
Man, screw it. We're going to do Washington and Texas.
Man, Ed, bro, you got to accept it, bro. It hurts.
Yeah, bro, I'm not gonna accept that somebody with a wrong resume is going to get in.
I've accepted it after I saw them beat Duke because that was like my last hope was when beating them. I was like, yeah, bro, these boys are going to go undefeated and they're going to beat the playoffs. I've already accepted it 3 weeks ago. All right, Jordan, who do you think is going to make the playoffs?
Oh, I feel like my instinct here is to play it safe because I would have said a week ago I would have said Alabama was trending towards beating Georgia in the SEC championship game, but then Georgia beat the brakes off of Ole Miss. So now, if you gave me a little more time, if I could watch them play Tennessee and Knoxville, that would help. But I'm gonna give. So hard because Alabama is such a December team. I mean, they really do get better every year. They get better as it goes. But I feel like we ran into this last year with Georgia where they were also kind of, I would almost say like unimpressive as number 1 all throughout the season, and then they left no doubt in the playoffs. And I do believe that this is not as good of a Georgia team as we had last year.
Mm-hmm.
But it's damn sure not as good of a Alabama team as we have had in previous years. So I'm going to give Georgia the edge in the SEC. So I'm going to say Georgia's going to lock in 1. I'm still going to roll with Ohio State winning the Big Ten. I really think I don't see Florida State losing. And so an undefeated Florida State ACC champion is going to slide in at 3. It really comes down to what happens in the pack. And so if Washington wins, Texas is cooked. There's no chance. Washington win. But I do really think Oregon's going to win. And so that's a situation where I don't know if one lost Oregon, they only lost to Washington.
And they're the champions.
But their best win is against Washington, whereas Texas is going to have that win against Alabama, sure, but our loss to OU, I think in that scenario, especially because, there's poll inertia and Oregon's already ahead of us. If Oregon manages to beat Washington, which I kind of think they will, that they're going to get in over Texas, unfortunately. So I think unless something crazy happens and like Florida State loses or Alabama wins the SEC and they don't keep Georgia in, I don't think Texas gets in. So I'm going to go with Oregon as my 4th.
Solid. J-Butt, what you got?
Very similar to what Jordan was saying. I've been trending towards Alabama beating Georgia up until last week, honestly.
Yeah.
But honestly, I mean, kind of like how he said, Alabama always is a December team. I don't really want to bet against Nick Saban because, I mean, he's already lost to him once. Actually, has he lost to them 2 years in a row now?
I don't think
SEC 2 years ago.
One of them they didn't even participate in the SEC, and they still.
Yeah, last year they lost to LSU.
But like their last 2 matchups, he lost to Kirby both times.
Yeah,
No.
so last year, 2022, remember, Bama didn't make the SEC championship. Remember, they lost to Tennessee and LSU last year.
Yeah.
Then the year before, obviously they beat Georgia in the championship, in the SEC championship. They lost them in the championship. You know,
I'm probably gonna have to go.
You got to remember that I think Alabama and Georgia played 3 times in 1 year, and it's hard for a team to beat them 3 times. I know Alabama beat Georgia two times out of 3.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna go Michigan. I think they're gonna beat Ohio State with that being a home game.
Yeah.
FSU. Is Washington playing Oregon in the Pac-12?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, not necessarily, but almost certainly, probably. If Oregon State manages to beat Oregon, then they will probably play Washington in the Big 12.
If Oregon State beats Washington, it's gonna be ugly out there.
It's gonna get weird.
It's
gonna get weird.
Yeah, I'll probably go Michigan, FSU. Georgia.
Okay.
And I have this weird feeling that even if Alabama beats Georgia in the SEC championship, they're both going to be in.
I don't think so, bro. I don't know, bro.
I don't think so, because then the same thing you could say the same thing about Ohio State and Michigan.
You could, but look at strength of schedule at that point.
Oh, we're talking about strength of schedule. Let me tell you. No, I'm not going to repeat it again. But strength of schedule, really? Well,
I don't know. Something's pulling me away from Georgia winning SEC championship, but I can't see them losing that game and not making it in the playoffs still.
I think they're in regardless, in my opinion. Same as it was 2 years ago.
I know y'all be saying Nick Saban, you don't bet against them. I'm at the point that I don't bet against Kirby either.
That shit makes me sick to say. That makes me sick, bro.
Does Louisville have a chance if they beat FSU?
No.
No chance.
Who they lose to?
I don't know who they lost to.
I believe.
Oh, yeah, no, they're not getting there.
And they only have 1 loss.
Yeah, they lost to Pitt.
That's it?
Yep. Yeah, but Pitt's 1-19, so.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anyway, yeah, it's going to be fun to see the last 2 weeks. Obviously, this upcoming weekend won't be any good games. It's all whatever. But next weekend, it's going to get weird. Very weird. So we'll see, man. Let's wrap this up by talking about Heisman stuff. So obviously, at the beginning of the season, we all thought Caleb Williams, well, not we, but I thought Caleb would be the favorite, right? And then obviously he's been playing like trash the past like 4 weeks. So now it's kind of up in the air, right? You got Jaden Daniels turning into Mike Vick in the past 3 games. You got Michael Penix doing his thing as well. And we got a lot of good players, obviously, this year.
Don't say his name.
Bo Pick.
Who was his name?
I thought you were going to say Travis.
No.
Oh,
I'm a hater.
That man does not deserve a
He's older than me. Me and him the same age.
That man got a 401k out there already.
That's crazy because I'd be a senior in college and I'm like 3 years younger than you.
Yeah, this man, exactly. Think about that. This man, see, all right, let's just keep going. But I'm not trying to go down this road.
Yeah, I don't feel like getting mad either. So if you guys had to pick today, who would you guys say is the Heisman winner?
I think Michael Penix.
If I'm picking today, it's probably Penix, but I'm also saying Oregon's going to beat Washington in the championship. So at that point, I'll say Bo Nix, but right now it's Penix.
If Bo Nix wins the Heisman, that would be a complete 360-degree turnaround of his career. Because that man was bunned to hell at Ole Miss.
Auburn.
I mean, at Auburn. Yeah, Auburn. When he came here,
it's tired.
Yeah, it's tired. It's been a long day at Auburn. When he came here to play, that man was garbage.
That man said
one. Right? I mean, he's been killing it. He's been killing it. But it would be crazy. But I agree. If Oregon beats Washington, then I mean, how can you say no to Bo Nix? His numbers are crazy, and he's a Pac-12 champion.
Yeah, I mean, like today, Michael Penix for sure, but like we all said, it's gonna get weird in these next 3 weeks or so. I mean, if I had to bet, if I was a betting man, something in me saying Bo Nix, which makes me a little sick to say. I don't know why. I don't know why I don't like him, but I don't like him. I don't know if it's his face mask. I don't know if it's the way he walks. I just don't like Bo Nix. But
Maybe
if I was betting,
he's 28 years old and still playing college football.
bro, I was at the game whenever Florida played Auburn that one year when he was at Auburn.
2018, bro. That was 5 years ago.
Yes, I was at that game. I remember seeing him. Yes, he was
I
there.
was a senior in high school.
Think
Like, come on.
about that.
Yeah, no.
Here now.
I was starting my nursing my nursing school. This man's been in the league forever.
Yeah, for sure. But I would say Bo Nix might win it. You know, I think if Jaden Daniels, if they were in the playoff race, I think he would be a favorite for sure with the way he's playing now. But I think now you have to think about a player that's on a winning team or a team that's winning a championship. I think it's Bo Nix for sure.
I think Jaden Daniels could win it. He just can't lose any other more games. Like, he needs to go undefeated for the next 2 games, and then I think they do the Heisman before the playoffs. So if he wins the next 2 games and he puts 700 yards on the next 2 players, on the next 2 teams, then it's going to be very hard to. Because Tim Tebow won 1 and he had 3 losses.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson won 1 and he had 3 losses, and there was another.
He had at least 3 losses when he won.
Yeah, there's another. Yeah, so it's doable for Jaden Daniels to do. I mean, his numbers are crazy.
Yeah,
it's not. He's been very good for LSU. It's just they have no defense. That's been their problem. They could easily be a playoff team, but their defense is horrible.
Yeah,
and somehow the Gators is even worse.
Bro, I want to think about that. I'm trying to move forward and think about the things in life, and you sit here you keep putting it back in my face. Anyway, yeah, Jordan, what do you think, bro? If you had to pick somebody.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same vein. I mean, if it was today, it would probably be Penix, but maybe that's a safe pick. I'm gonna rock with Bo Nix just because I think Oregon's gonna win the Pac-12, and I don't think Jaden Daniels winning the next 2 games. I don't even know who LSU plays. They'll play. Do they have a major game left? I don't think they do.
I don't think they do. I don't think
the fact that they don't have like a big game coming up, and because I think he should be higher. I mean, his numbers are like Joe Burrow 2019. Like, it's crazy. And so for him I feel like he should be higher if he had any chance of winning. And I don't think playing 2 scrubs, even if he hangs 800 yards, is going to put him over those Pac quarterbacks.
They have Georgia State and Texas A&M to finish out the year.
Yeah, get out of here with that.
GG's. Okay.
I think I'm going to rock with Bo Nix just because I think Oregon's going to win the Pac. And if Oregon wins that game, I think their best shot at winning that game is if Penix has not – like, I don't foresee Penix has a great game and then they still somehow lose. So, yeah.
Gotcha. Hey, I was going to ask for your opinion, Jay, but you need a second? Are you good?
No, you're good. You're good.
Go ahead. Who do you got?
Oh, for Heisman? I'm at to ride with Penix. Shut up. I don't know. I mean, he's looked overall, he hasn't had a bad game to me all year. He's looked pretty sound. I mean, I think he had one that he didn't have great stats in, but I mean, overall, all year, the dude's been amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a safe pick. We'll see, bro. It's going to be weird. Like I said, this is like the first time in a long time that the Heisman has been like up in the air like this, right? Because last year, Caleb Williams, we knew he was going to win it. Year before that, we knew Bryce Young was going to win it, So now it's like really up in the air. And I think this also, speaking about, the playoffs, I think this is the most up in the air we've seen the playoffs as well, too, right? Because we got potentially 7 teams, eight teams that can make the playoffs, right? So we'll see, bro. I'm excited. It's good to see the college football field kind of being leveled now. You know what I mean? So we'll see, man. But all right, guys, that's it for today. We appreciate you guys tuning in. All the fans that tuned in. Shout out to Sahib. Sorry if I said your name wrong. My bad. Brandon, Trishan. Sorry if I said your name wrong again. I know we got some other people out there in the crowd as well. So we appreciate you guys. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe, follow us everywhere. 352 Blitz, same username on all platforms. And that's pretty much it, guys. We appreciate you guys. We love y'all. We'll catch y'all next time. Peace.
Take it easy.
Appreciate it.
Bet.